talk or not, you're welcome to weigh in on YouTube at KBLA 1580, or just call me 800-920-1580. My Wealth Building Wednesday guest had to cancel at the last minute. I'm very disappointed, but I understand. The guest was to be Milan from Sika's World. Excuse me, Lord. Okay, time for me to go back to sleep. It's Sika's World. And you, if you didn't track it, it's on podcasts with Billion. Godson was here talking about, and the protests are ongoing because reportedly they are being evicted by the owners of that building, who are black folks, inexplicably, just I think like 2 months after Sika made his transition. So what we're being told is that there is now legal action underway, lawsuits underway. So public conversation about what's happening over there is shut down. Just got that word this morning. Was really looking forward to talking with Milan in studio, but hopefully she'll come and talk to us when they get this thing resolved. Art and Practice, the nonprofit, is the owner of that building, and apparently they are trying to evict Sika's World. What we do know from the conversation with Billy and Godson is that they are not planning to leave without a fight, and that our patronage is helpful. So if you want to get your nose pierced, or you want to get some African art or some jewelry, clothing, incense, they have so many cool things there. The thing to do would be go to Sika. It's on Degnan in Leimert Park. Spend some money to help support the sister, the family, the wife, and the daughter of Sika, who was unofficially the mayor of Leimert Park, just had that corridor named after him right next to his store in Leimert. Passes away just days later, and then now they're facing eviction. So hopefully what I would love to see is a peaceful resolution. Art and Practice comes to their senses and realizes that this is a beloved community institution, and then offers them some kind of a compromise or deal that works for them, and they're able to stay there or go to an even better place. Art and Practice, it has some transparency and lets the community know what they have in mind. Those are my best case scenarios. So we're going to pray on that. When black folks go toe-to-toe with black folks in the community, I think it's important that we, have solutions that benefit everyone, but definitely standing by Sika and the family. Let's go to Big Phil, calling us from L.A. Good morning, Big Phil. What's up, Big Phil?
Yeah, hey, what's going on? Devil, don't sleep. We still here. Wake up. Don't commit suicide. Put the cross up. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move very quickly here. We had a king, Obama, now I'm going to have the queen. 500 years of BS is now coming to an end, okay? And let me tell you one thing. $540 million, unheard of. She's making history. Money is coming like it's from heaven, okay? We are on the move. And then Euclid was talking about Joe Biden, that Democrats stepped him down. Democrats are doing anything. The man old and see now. And then I think the convention center was talking in Corona behalf, D.L. Hughley. I like him as a comedian. He say one thing, then he's talking, which is a good thing, okay? Another thing, let me tell you another thing. We are moving with the meteorologists, a lot of sisters, a lot of talk shows in Washington, D.C. in black, good positions. But I have a problem with a lot of these sisters. I'm not that good at Dominique. Why are they bleaching their skin light complexion? Just stay true to sister, okay? Some of these sisters, like Gail King, she's like, look at her skin lady, she's like she's a white woman.
You think she's bleaching her skin? I think it might be makeup, but I'm not sure.
No, I'm not talking about. She's light complected. She's not the only one. The other sisters doing that now, Dominique. I mean, just be real. Just be a true sister. Just be, I mean, come on. We got good jobs. That's just enough. You'll see. Some of the meteorologists, you'll see. You got some in L.A. like that, too. You got dark on and light complected skin. Come on now.
Well, it may,
Maybe.
I know there's pressure. I can't speak to that really authentically
Yeah,
because
well, yeah.
my complexion is lighter because my mom is Italian.
Well, yeah, you
But
natural. You natural, okay?
s-
Just you ain't got to put no makeup on, okay? You natural, okay?
well, I wish. Thank you. I do
Okay.
think there's pressure to be, to conform to a certain
Pressure.
image when you're in the media. So
Pressure.
I give these
She
folks.
Judge Maybelline. She Judge Maybelline. She got to do her hair. I'm not doing my hair the way you want to do it. It won't be no Judge Maybelline, okay?
Yeah, Judge Maybelline is fire.
Okay. Look, I gotta go. I love you guys. Stay safe and be careful. So much stuff going on. I love you guys out there. Okay.
Love
This
you
is Big
more.
Phil.
Thank you,
I'm
Big
going out
Phil.
now.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing. I suspect it may be bad makeup. Many times these places don't have black makeup artists. It's one of the things we want in our Screen Actors Guild contract is that if the actor or air talent does not feel that the makeup and hair that's provided is skillful and adequate, they can bring in their own and they can get reimbursed by the production. That's a huge game changer. I was talking to a makeup artist the other day, on Saturday actually, and she was telling me that that win that we had in that contract negotiation is making a difference. That she reports to sets now and she sees way more black makeup artists and hair people. And I love that because it means that when we stood up as performers, when we fight, we win kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, you watch a show like Scandal for years. Love that show. It was so, dramatic. And I love Kerry Washington. She was great at the convention. She was great on that show. But her hair was always jacked up. It was like some terrible wig that somebody that's not black put on her head. And like, this is ABC. This is big budget. You know, when Tyler Perry has bad wigs, you kind of go, okay, well, they were low budget. Although you heard him pushing back on that. He was angry about people clowning the hair in his production, saying he gets the best people and pays top dollar. I've got some folks you can try, Tyler. I'm just saying. Anyway, not that my hair is always perfect, but if I had my guys on set every day, it would be. Thank you very much. When I do it myself, that's when it gets janky. But anyway, the point is we fought for that, we won, and now some of these actors are able to bring their own people in. Hopefully, those folks get into the union, and then you see more people not painting us white. I remember when I first got into the business, which was a very long time ago, that they would do that. They would whip out their makeup kits and they wouldn't have the color that matched you. I mean, thanks to Fenty Beauty and even the mainstream makeup lines now have many more colors. Maybe because they've realized that the faces and complexions of women and men, because men are using makeup too, around the world are varied, from a beautiful rich chocolate to a olive to high yellow to alabaster, and they all need appropriate makeup. I remember they used to put this sort of pink pale stuff on me, and I looked crazy. It looked terrible. Like, are you trying to make me look dead? I mean, I might be light, but I ain't Barbie color. Come on now. And then they do weird things to your hair. My solution was always show up on set with my hair done, and then if they want to throw in a curl or two, it's all good. But not everybody wants to make that investment. I do because I don't want to have crazy hair. I don't know. I hope that's what it is. I hope it's not self-hate. Um, and that's something all of us need to work on, right? Being true to ourselves even under pressure. Okay, so apparently Fahima sent me this article I hadn't seen. Apparently the Trump, or should I say Drumpf, because that's his name, original name, his ethnic name, Drumpf, team, when they went to Arlington Cemetery to pay tribute to fallen soldiers, something he's never felt the need to do any other time until now when he's starting to be worried that he's losing an election. Anyway, they went there and his team had gotten into a physical fight with the staff of the cemetery and started cussing them out and stuff. I mean, this is beyond political to me. This is just about character and spirituality, not religion, spirituality. What person goes pushing, cussing, and fighting in a cemetery? Especially a cemetery full of nothing but fallen soldiers who have made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. Who does that? Someone who has no connection with any kind of higher power. That's what I think. You're cussing in a cemetery full of deceased soldiers and beating someone up, trying to beat someone up. And why? Because the staff was insisting that they respect those fallen soldiers by not filming in areas of the cemetery designated to be private. Some people don't want to be in your little Trump commercial or any commercial. You can't respect the dead in the privacy of the families that have requested it, even though they've given their lives for our country, and you gonna beat up the worker. To me, that says it all. I don't know what else we have to say after that. You have no sense, no moral character. I mean, that is weird, too. Put it in the weird portfolio. Think I'll go cuss someone out in a cemetery. That's weird. I don't know. I find it very problematic. But the thing is, we're going to start debunking some of these things. I see your talking points. I see your talking points in the chat. I see them on TV. I see them on Don Lemon's explorations across the country. And I'm talking about black people now. I'm not talking about whatever his name was from Indiana, who, as many pointed out, is probably a lost cause. But when we talk about, as Deb said, what's the objective? For me, part of the objective when I argue with trolls is to debunk their talking points, not for them, but for us. So that when we go to Thanksgiving dinner, well, Thanksgiving will be after the election. When we go to Halloween parties with our MAGA-leaning relatives, we have thought these things through in a robust fashion so that we strengthen our resolve, so that we are better messengers for democracy, for black progress, for reparations, for democracy in general, and our goal of a multi-racial just republic. So that's why I do it. And we're still taking your votes on that, whether we should let the trolls speak or not. Phone lines are wide open if you want to get in. Public comment is on, regardless of your topic. But hey, we got a lot to talk about. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/TC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Tavis is under attack. I can't get his radio station on my transistor. I'm getting the Asian station that he's right around, but they're not letting KBLA 1580 come in. I'm not getting the black man. So let Tavis know he's under attack. Cyber attack, racist attack, fascist attack, but he's under attack. And they doing something to disrupt his radio station, so they won't get the truth out to us.
Hey, it's Tavis. We appreciate all that love, let me tell you.
because we may very well be under attack on all sides. Just because you don't believe in conspiracy theories don't mean they ain't after you. But in reality, sometimes stuff happens with the signal from the studio to the tower, which sends our programming to your car, home, office, or your transistor radio. But when you download the KBLA 1580 app, the sound is clear as a bell all day, all night, anywhere in the world, from Los Angeles to Lagos. So we love all of our listeners, no matter how you hear us. But when you download the KBLA 1580 app and hear that richness, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. But don't take my word for it. Download the KBLA 1580 app right now. I'm Tavis Smiley, and I approve this message.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop! Swiffer Power Mop!
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Okay, we got it straightened out. You can jump in the chat at KBLA 1580 on YouTube. Still got the poll going if you want to weigh in on whether or not we should limit those trolls, the right-wing ops, or let them on in and give them give them some boundaries, right? Which is maybe, I like the 90 seconds. 1 minute feels short. 2 minutes can be an eternity. But, I always play it by ear anyway. If someone's making a good point or I feel like the conversation is stimulating to you guys, making you call or think, then I might actually, extend more time. Okay, let's go to Catalego calling us from LA. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you?
Good.
What's on your mind?
I'm here to speak on art and practice event in Sika.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what we've been doing here in Africatown, we've been going to the museums though that they actually sponsor. We went to the Helmed Museum last week. We talked to his director about cutting ties with art and practice though because he refused to meet with the community. He refused to meet with Heather Hunt, Holly Mitchell, and Karen Bass about having a meeting about resolving the eviction going on with Sika.
So you guys have been trying to get a meeting, and so far he's refused.
Yes, he refused so far. Then a few days ago, we went to shut down his construction site at the it's right there in Vision Theater. That's his construction he's building.
Yeah, I heard something about that. Someone was talking to me about that yesterday. The protests in front of Art and Practice and the construction site, and still no word from Mr. Bradford, who is one of the nonprofit, owns those buildings. But I think him and his partner, I can't remember his partner's name right now.
Yes, his spouse. So he
Oh, that's his spouse? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said he gonna meet with us on Friday.
What? Okay,
Yeah,
so that's progress, right?
Yes, it's progress though because Sika's been prominent in our community for over 30-some years though, so we hate to see him go. So we just want to have Mark Bradford, his spouse, to sit at the table with us though too, like a real community.
Alan DeCastro is the executive director, and I think that's the spouse, right?
Yes.
Alan DeCastro and Mark Bradford. The Art and Practice is a nonprofit that they run. So you think the protests and probably, I would imagine, some words of encouragement from elected officials may have caused them to go ahead and meet with you?
Yes, because we've been trying to have a meeting with him ever since they tried to evict Sika. He refused to meet with the community, though.
So that meeting will take place on Friday.
Yes.
And what's your best case scenario, Cutlego? Like, what would the ideal outcome be for you?
Our outcome would be to make Sika stay there because we don't want Sika to go. We don't want to relocate and move. We want him to stay there and continue operating business, though. Because he's been a pillar in our community for 30-plus years, though. We don't want to see him go.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I don't want to see him go either. I've been in the Crenshaw area for 25 years, and I've always been going to Sika. And it seemed wrong to make that move, right after the man made his transition. I'm interested to know what it is they plan there that's so urgent that they feel they need to push Sika out, and if there's some compromise that could be made. Of course, it's hard to know what a compromise would be when we don't know what their plans are.
Well, I would say one of their plans is probably to put people that's less for the community, though. So that means they push all those out the community. It's not but a gentrification plan to move us out the community, though, before the 28 Olympics.
Ah, so you tie it to 28 Olympics. And we've got the World Cup. We've got other things happening before then. There's no doubt that Leimert Park, I saw some publication from a Beverly Hills realtor that designated Leimert Park and the surrounding areas as hot zip codes. Meaning, yeah, the gentrification march is on, but it seems like we're pushing back. I mean, an art and practice it's a nonprofit, but at least, two of the three founders are black, right? So one hopes that they have the best interests of the community at heart and that they're not just on the gentrifier train.
Well, for the last 5 to 7 years, we've seen a lot of black-owned business being destroyed all throughout the Crenshaw corridor since the Crenshaw train station. So we fighting back against that, though.
Yeah.
And, also is that Mark Bradford, though, it seems like he ain't for the community, though, because he refused to meet with the community. He don't go to another community means none of that, though, but that's all I got to say.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the update, Cutlego, and hopefully I'll hear from someone after. I'll certainly do some investigation over the weekend to see how that meeting went. And, I find that sometimes even when people are not for the community or maybe they're scared, I've been in at least one radio situation where the people running that station were afraid of the community and didn't know what to do, that sometimes that can be turned around. And that's what I'm hoping for. Maybe with prayer and the Mercury retrograde and the protests that you guys are doing on the ground, we can turn this around and make it a win-win. That's what I'm praying for, right? Something better for Sika, something better for art and practice. Maybe this cathartic moment of confrontation creates a real relationship between them and the community. I mean, that would be the best case scenario for me. I know I'm a bit of an optimist, but I have seen it happen before, where community storming the gates and the folks on the other side don't know what to do because they're new in that space and they're afraid. And sometimes we can have a win-win outcome. That's what I'm hoping for. I certainly wouldn't want to see Sika going anywhere. I would love to see art and practice emerge as a true partner that has authentic relationships in the community and continues to bring just that, art and practice, without having to displace and undermine those folks that have been not just pioneers, but, created the environment that made you want to be there in the first place. It's the people like Sika, right? And some of the ones that are not there anymore, like the Museum in Black, that created that environment as LA's black cultural hub that now makes you want to buy there and gentrify there. And that's a pattern we see all over the country. Artists, and many times black, and sometimes, black and other BIPOC artists come in, they create this vibe in a community that makes gentrifiers want it. Those gentrifiers elbow their way in, and we end up ass out. Perfect time to call me. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Donald Trump is being indicted again for allegedly interfering with the 2020 election. The Department of Justice said Tuesday's new indictment reflects the recent Supreme Court ruling that gives presidents broad immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson says the High Court needs to be prepared to respond to this year's presidential election. The African-American justice told CBS News that there are legal issues that arise out of the political process that could end up before the Supreme Court. Well, people are getting set to hit the road for Labor Day weekend. AAA now reporting domestic travel during the last holiday weekend of the summer could jump as much as 9% compared to last year. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Coco Gauff got off to a good start Monday in defending her U.S. Open tennis title. The 20-year-old African-American star defeated Varvara Gracheva of Russia in straight sets. Gauff, the number 3 seed at the U.S. Open, moves into Wednesday's second round. Gauff plays Tatiana Maria of Germany at 9 a.m. Gauff won her first Grand Slam title when she won last year's U.S. Open. The Dodgers and Angels are back in action tonight after a day off on Monday. The Dodgers are at home for the start of a 3-game series against Baltimore. The Angels are in Detroit to try to snap a 5-game losing streak. ESPN rounded up a few experts to rank the top 100 NFL players entering the 2024 season. Here's the top 5. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson, Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett, and Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Support comes from Getty, presenting Memnon, a world premiere theatrical event under the stars. Memnon tells the tale of a powerful Ethiopian king who fights alongside Troy during the city's darkest hour. This epic Greek myth has been overlooked for over a millennium. Until now. Memnon is co-produced by the Classical Theater of Harlem. Thursdays through Saturdays this September at the Getty Villa Museum. Tickets are available now at getty.edu.
Getting connected has never been easier. Get free Wi-Fi at all LA County library locations, inside the library and outside in the parking lots. Visit your local library and get connected today. Have you heard of the 50-30-20 rule? This can help you spend and save your money wisely. So, how does it work? Distribute your dollars into 3 buckets. 50% towards needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% goes to savings. Use this tool to help your journey to financial success. Sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, yeah, Jack Smith is in that behind. Special counsel Jack Smith is reviving his case around Donald Trump, Mr. Trump's attempt to steal the 2020 election. He has resubmitted his documents after changing that case to comply with the U.S. Extreme Court's immunity protections that they extended to presidents. And really, we know it was for Trump and really only for Trump. But in any case, they said that the U.S. presidents have immunity when they're in office and they're doing things that are connected to the role of being president. So special counsel Smith has revised his indictment to take out everything that can't pass muster according to the get-out-of-jail-free card that the Supreme Court gave to Trump. And he's made it clear that he plans to move forward with this case. We shall see what the judge does. Judge Chutkan has the ball in her court, and we shall see. It's clear I think 70 days now out from the election. I'm not sure, that's a guesstimate. That case won't be tried before the election, but it certainly adds new urgency to Donald Trump's desire to be elected president so he can avoid prosecution. It charges him with conspiracy to defraud the government system that counts election votes to corrupt and obstruct the process of certifying Biden's victory. It accuses him of conspiracy against the rights of citizens to cast a vote and have it counted. But he took out the stuff about using the Justice Department as his personal lawyers and enforcers. He took that out, saying that I guess that's something you do in the job of president. And so I love this so much. Jack Smith is not giving up, and the case continues. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. I mean, he's still got to, now the judge has got to wrangle with what the extreme court said and whether Jack Smith's revisions adequately address the immunity that Trump supposedly has. And that's something that could affect not just the charges themselves, but which evidence is admissible in the case. So this is a long way from a slam dunk, but it is giving new life to this particular case, and that is a good thing. As Trump tries to flee law enforcement while running a campaign. Now Trump is saying that he wants Jesus to come back. He literally said that. He said that in a recent interview. He said he wants Jesus to come back. An interview with Dr. Phil. Why does he want Jesus to come back? To count the votes so he can win the election. You can't make these things up. He literally said that if Jesus would come and count the votes, then he would win because he does so well with Hispanics. I'm telling you, this man is in cognitive decline. Why is no one paying attention? You go on Dr. Phil talking about let Jesus come back and count the votes? Yeah. Ted Lieu said on a tweet, I'm just an ordinary Catholic, but I'm thinking Jesus probably wouldn't come down for a man found liable by a jury for sexual assault. And since Jesus invented the laws of the universe, including math, he would certify that Trump lost California and Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. The level of delusion and disrespect. They fighting people in cemeteries and giving Jesus the Christ the job of vote counter. Make it stop. Please make it stop. Speaking of make it stop, we'll talk more about the Middle East next hour. We've got some incredible experts on deck to do that. But, I mean, Israel now sending tanks deeper into the Gaza Strip and launching airstrikes in Khan Yunis. At least 34 Palestinians killed today. It is seemingly endless. And I don't know, how much more destruction can you do? How much more are we going to let them do? How many more folks are we going to let them kill before we stop financing these bombs and weapons of mass destruction? It is beyond scary. And I mentioned yesterday that New York Times report, they're saying 20,000 children orphaned and scavenging through the wreckage of the bombed out Gaza Strip seeking food, trying to survive on their own with trauma and injuries. We can make it stop. We are Israel's main patron. We give them billions of dollars. And I understand that it's self-dealing where we give them the money to buy the bombs and then sell them the bombs so that the U.S. weapons industry can make money. But we, the people, the American people, have to make it stop. It's being done in our name. And now they're pushing further into the West Bank. And expanding their front on the West Bank. And it's always, Israel always has, has a justification. Oh, it's preemptive. We're trying to stop terror attacks. I mean, if the United States went on that logic, we could just bomb everybody to smithereens and leave the world in rubble and trauma and despair and genocide. I hate it so much for us. And, it's interesting against the backdrop of these students coming back to school and being faced with all kinds of new restrictions because they have been the main ones speaking out to stop this war, these wars. Dora from LA, you have the mic. Dora?
Hi.
Hello, what's on your mind? You got to talk. Yeah, you call and then you talk.
Sorry.
That's how that goes.
I'm calling in because I wanted to get the listeners to call Gavin Newsom's office to get him not to sign that bill for August the 31st in order to have the non-documented immigrants to come in and get to the program so they can get a down payment on Dream for All program. And the document he's going to sign was going to give them priorities to the money.
Yeah, the Dream for All program, I haven't talked about that in a while, so I don't remember all the details, but I know it's not just for immigrants, it's for first-time home buyers, and so it could actually benefit quite a number of black families as well. I don't, like I said, I'm not familiar with the details, but you want people to call and tell him not to sign it. What about our reparations bills, Dora? Do you want him to sign those?
Exactly. Yes, please sign those instead of signing this. This is
well,
idiotic.
It's not either or. He could sign both. I mean, it's not either or. We don't have to be pitted against each other. We don't have to be pitted against each other.
Right.
Why?
Okay.
What is it about that you don't like?
That he's going to let undocumented immigrants come into California only.
Well, I mean, undocumented immigrants are already here. You know that. This is not saying come to California and get houses. This is for people who already live, work, and pay taxes here.
Okay, misunderstood.
I mean, I'm sure maybe one or two could come in. It's getting harder and harder. But Dora, I'm just trying to get a sense of why this is your priority.
Oh, because I misunderstood. I thought he was letting more in.
I see.
And not those that are already here.
I understand. Okay. Well, I mean, you got your priorities. I got mine. I want us to call the governor and not let him, not let him punk out on signing these reparations bills. 3 of them that are coming to the full floor of the assembly for a vote today, and the ones that are still circling. Yeah, today. So if they pass, which I've been assured they will, but hey, it's not too late to call your assembly members about that. If they pass, then the governor has until the end of September to sign those. And what I'm hearing is that he may be trying to amend them and water them down, which we need to ensure that doesn't happen.
Right. Okay. I'll call him.
Dora, is this your first time calling me?
No, years ago.
Oh, it's been a minute. Okay, well, wait. Well, call me again. Don't be a stranger, okay?
I will.
All right? All right. Have a great day. You know, the ones that they call once in a blue moon? It's your time. 800-920-1580. We will continue these conversations. I'm at a loss because there's so much going on. Like, what do we talk about? I don't want to talk Trump all day. But, I'm so happy to see these charges creeping back up in the middle at the perfect time. 800-920-1580. We've got so much to talk about.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
History is being made. LA Civil Rights and the LA City Reparations Advisory Commission is about to unveil a groundbreaking reparations report. Come learn more about the impact of the Black experience in Los Angeles. Join us on Tuesday, August 27th, 5 p.m. at CSUN's Student Union for the official release and panel discussion. For more information, call 213-978-1845 or visit laisforeveryone.com. Again, laisforeveryone.com. Be part of this monumental moment.
We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what part politics play in our lives.
Questions about black voters, their disengagement, lack of information, and support or lack thereof for Democratic candidates have once again taken center stage as Democrats, Republicans, and independent candidates compete for this critical voting bloc. Will black voters abandon Democrats in this election, move historic numbers of votes toward the Republican nominee, or will they continue a decades-long trend of overperforming for Democratic candidates up and down the ballot? The stakes have never been higher for Black America. Tune in to KBLA's new show, The Black Pack, hosted by veteran political strategist Adrian Shropshire, every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for a breakdown of the issues, rhetoric, polling, and more this election year. It's The Black Pack with Adrian Shropshire, Fridays from 4 to 6 p.m. exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm-fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Okay, Doris. So of course I looked it up. I hate to be not knowing. So yeah, you're right. The bill that is an amendment to the California Dream for All. Dream for All has already been in effect. It ran out of money after 11 days. It's meant to help first generation and first-time home buyers get homes. We talked about it a lot on this program because black folks, we seem to miss the announcements for a lot of these things, and we don't end up getting this money. So basically, AB 1850 would allow, what it does is it would prohibit the program from disqualifying someone from getting the assistance of the Dream for All only based on their immigration status. So you're right, actually. It does allow undocumented immigrants to get this money. Thing is, right now, there's no money there. Zero money appropriated for it in this current cycle because of the budget deficit that we're under at the moment. But it's not like you can just run over across the border and get this money anyway. I hope that more black folks will apply in the future when it's funded again. But there's a bunch of criteria. You have to work. You've got to pay taxes. It's not just like anyone can get this money. You have to establish residency here in California. You can't just, hop on a taxi and an Uber from Venezuela, show up and get the money. So anyway, let's go to Fahima calling us from Washington, D.C. Good morning.
Yeah, Dominique, I was calling in specifically about the Senate Bill 1840 because I was actually in a space and people were using this to say that California was giving immigrants 0%. They use the term illegal, 0% interest. And as you just indicated, that's not the case. And if I'm here on the East Coast, and I can look it up, I'm not understanding why people on the West Coast can't just look it up. I was actually in a space over the weekend, and people were complaining about California and them giving things to illegals, quote unquote, that black people don't have access to. And it's simply not true. As you just indicated, the bill simply prohibits the discrimination against anyone for their immigration status. And I don't even know if it actually gives money. It's a 0% interest loan.
Well, that loan, what that loan does is it does give you 20% down payment up to 20% down payment assistance, so you can get in there. Then it gives you this interest-free loan. But when you sell the house, when you sell that house, you have to pay back the down payment money. It could be in a year, it could be in 30 years. Whenever you sell the home, you have to pay back the loan and the down payment. So the program theoretically would regenerate funding in that way, with the loan, the full amount of the loan and down payment going back to the state, and then I guess they get a percentage of the equity too. So you don't just get straight profits from selling that, but it's a formula they have where you get part of the equity and they get part of the equity. It's actually a pretty smart program.
But the fact of the matter is that it's available to everyone, and the amendment simply says that they won't prohibit you from participating based upon your immigration status. So that doesn't mean that they're giving something to immigrants that Black people or anyone else doesn't have access to, and that's how it was framed online.
Right. No, yeah, that's not true. They're just making it illegal to discriminate. It's highly unlikely that someone just ran across the border would be able to qualify. First of all, you have to prove that you live and work in California. You have to pay taxes in California. So I think that's, more fuel for the fodder. I mean, Fox News had their usual spin. But it is true that we as Black Americans need to be careful that these programs do not favor other people over us. I think that's true. I think that's true in certain barriers that are set up in application processes, in the outreach that is done or not done to our community, and the way, all of these things I think are it's important that we make sure that those processes are fair. Not just versus immigrants, but versus anyone. It seems that many times we are obstacled out of certain programs or just outreached out. But I appreciate the clarification for you.
Well, just last point. If legislation is called the California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program, I think, one, that tells me that if I meet the criteria, I can participate, and it's folly to exclude people as long as they meet the criteria.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's true in theory, but a lot of times these folks don't outreach to Black communities. They don't buy Black radio. They don't buy Black print. They don't go to our communities and spread the word. So everybody else, just like these affordable housing units here in South LA, everybody else is already lined up and got in there from every other town except for Black town. And, it's right in the middle of our community, and we do not have access. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that it's in the spirit of the bill. I got a whole bunch of people on hold right now, Fahima, so land real quick if you would.
Last point. The people that want to feed us misinformation are doing a great job of outreach and misinforming.
No doubt. Thanks, Fahima. Let's go to Paul from L.A. Paul, you there?
Yes, how's it going, Dominique? Thank you, Fahima. She beat me to the punch. This is another situation of something being politicized, and my phone blew up immediately when it happened, right? And I implore our people to take the time to read it, because in that same California Dream for All bill, right, the bill, this is just the 1840, just so they could not be excluded from it. They cannot be incriminated on. But also in the program has received state funding, but it is also run by the California Housing Finance Agency, which generates revenue through mortgage loans and not from taxpayers.
That's a great point, Paul.
Sometimes I need people to be, I'm not trying to be mean, but before we jump to an opinion, and it's in your hands because everybody's on social media 24/7.
Go on and be mean, Paul. Sometimes we need it.
Because, and we're just real quick, policies, people. If you look at what Kamala Harris is in Wall's administration is running on, those policies are going to target middle working class and rebuilding middle working class. A lot of the issues I hear from people are talking about unaffordability, right? Well, why did that happen? Because of the previous administration's deregulations and tax policies that put the tax burden on who? The everyday working people. We talk about how people can't get into homes. Well, why did that happen? Because of the opportunity zones. We talk about gentrification. Why did that happen? Because of the opportunity zones. You allowed people with money to create tax deferments through capital gains, so they didn't pay taxes. That ended up putting the tax burden on who? All of us. So what ended up happening is people cannot afford to live in South Central Los Angeles no more, and gentrification happened. I need people to take the time to not only vote, but read what you're voting for and who you're voting for. The Harris administration is actually pushing for $25,000 for first-time home buyers, and also wanted to fix the issue of building more homes. You build more homes, then what will happen to the price of homes? It will go down. But they don't want that, Dominique. You know why they don't want that? Is because the people that own the majority of the homes now, the hedge funds and the wealthy people, want people to be renters. They don't want them to be homeowners. So sometimes I just need people to take the time to pay attention to what the policies they're running on. The policies Kamala Harris is running on are going to impact everyday people and their kitchen table issues.
Yeah.
I implore people to read them.
Thank you, Paul. We'll have to go deeper into that on another day. Because it's time for news, traffic, and sports, and then we'll have a robust conversation on the situation in the Middle East. Wow. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Donald Trump is being indicted again for allegedly interfering with the 2020 election. The Department of Justice said Tuesday's new indictment reflects the recent Supreme Court ruling that gives presidents broad immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson says the High Court needs to be prepared to respond to this year's presidential election. The African-American justice told CBS News that there are legal issues that arise out of the political process that could end up before the Supreme Court. Well, people are getting set to hit the road for Labor Day weekend. AAA now reporting domestic travel during the last holiday weekend of the summer could jump as much as 9% compared to last year. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A rough night for both of LA's baseball teams. The Dodgers lost at home to Baltimore, the team with the second best record in the American League. The Dodgers still have a 3-game lead over San Diego and Arizona in the NL West. The Angels slump continues. Last night's loss at Detroit increased the Angels' losing streak to 6. The Angels are 2-12 in their last 14 games. The LA Sparks bring a 7-game losing streak into tonight's home game against the WNBA's best team, the New York Liberty. The Liberty are 26-5. LeBron James has laid down an important family rule regarding his son Bronny. His new teammate LeBron said Bronny cannot call him dad. Away from basketball, LeBron said the word dad is okay.